Delta, New Mexico. We're going to talk today about a math resources that are on the web. Now, there's many math resources, so I kind of use the ones that I use most frequently. So this is entitled A Tech Talk for Explorers, and the topic is math resources on the web. There's so many types of math resources on the webs. We can actually break it into online resources. We have these new OERs now, open lesson plans, courses, and learning modules. There's tons of math videos. We are starting to emerge more with math games and Google apps for the math classroom. There's tons of those, and they're developing more every day. And we want to talk a little bit about the alternatives that are online to having a textbook. So the first subject, online resources. Anything from the web is pretty much an online resource. I wanted to show you 4 of my favorite online resources when it comes to math content. We have Real World Math, the Math Forum, Illuminations, and of course, everybody must have heard about PBS Learning Media. So we're going to go a little bit into each of these, and I'm going to show you on my screen what they look like and how you can integrate them into your math curriculum. So starting with the well-known PBS Learning Media. What's nice about PBS Learning Media is it has content that's related to GED. When I first started integrating technology into math content, I started doing this because students were starting to fall asleep and it looked like they were getting bored. I was searching and I was looking around and I kept getting things that were more kid related. So I needed to find something that made adults feel like they weren't watching some kid channel or Sesame Street or something. So PBS has some actual GED related math content. It's easy to search. They have quality learning materials, math in different kinds of contexts. So you can get video, you can get worksheets, you can get video accompanied by worksheets, and they have a huge database of videos. They also have some interactive resources and they have links to other resources. So underneath PBS Learning Media is the regular PBS channel and all these other things. You can sign up for free and you can save the lessons that you like in your favorite content. So it's a great site for somebody who's beginning and who wants to who doesn't know much about technology. It's a good place to start and it's free. And my students liked it a whole lot. So I'm going to click on this. And hopefully, there we go. We're over here at PBS Learning Media. Sign up is free. Your students can also sign up for free. It has a very easy search. We can browse by grade and subject. You notice they'll have 12, 13 plus. So if you're teaching GED and ABE, you can usually use anything from 8th to 13 plus here. You can do by content, for example, math. You can search. It's a simple search. I can just type in what I want, GED, math videos. And that's what's nice about it. A lot of times I'm searching the web and I wind up somewhere where I wasn't intending to wind up and I lose track of time, and you don't want to waste too much time. So you can see here they have targeted math instruction. This is the old test, but they have also upgraded to the new test. If I were to scroll down here in resource type, I could click video and it will change everything and give me the different videos. They have video not just for your math students, but for professional development as far as how to teach critical thinking and things like that. I have some favorite videos of when I was trying to explain ratio and proportion to some of my students, it just wasn't working. And they have a wonderful video, for example, about a chef who needed to get his GED. And the way he was showing ratio and proportion was through his cooking. And students seem to like that a lot. It shows the connection between the GED and the workforce. So if I should type in ratio and proportion, and forgive my spelling if I don't know how to spell it, it gets me there either way. It will give me a bunch of stuff for ratio and proportion. I didn't log in here, but if I would have logged in here, I could have gone to my account where I had saved everything I like in the PBS video. So I like to use the videos. The videos are accompanied with lessons and printable worksheets that you can print out. So I don't want to spend too much time because we have a lot to look at. I'm going to go back to the math resources. Um, real world math I have just discovered. It helps you integrate your math curriculum with Google Earth and extend your conceptual thinking when it comes to terms of math. This is a really neat site. It's linked to Google. So I'm always searching for something that's more real world for students so they can connect to it. Sometimes the concepts seem so foreign, but if you search this site, it uses Google Earth, and it has already made lesson plans for you to follow if you need to, with worksheets that accompany Google Earth. So what kind of things can we learn when it comes to math? Teaching circumference, teaching diameter, teaching distance, teaching things that are visually represented. This is a great site. They have great partners. If you look in the lesson downloads and you were looking for math, you can see under here they have measurement lessons, project-based learning, exploratory lessons, space lessons. So you can click on one of these and you can see their collection of space lessons. So it's very cool. It incorporates Google Earth. You can link this to your Google Classroom if you have Google Classroom. They offer videos, moonshot, walking on the air, and they incorporate math concepts that are needed for the GED. The Math Forum. The Math Forum is huge. It has every link you can ever imagine for teachers. If you want free graph paper, you would go to the Math Forum. They have math tools, math talk, great professional development resources. For students, they have Dr. Math and GED math instruction. If they have a question, they're struggling with a math concept, they can go here and type in their question and usually get an answer very quickly. And I like it because it does have the specific GED or HSE math instruction. Oops, I'm sorry. We meant to go to a site with that. Okay, so Illuminations. This was one I used to check out a long time ago, and I totally forgot about it till I started doing research into math content. It's designed by the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. They've aligned everything, all their activities with Common Core. There's a huge 600 plus hands-on lessons, and we have more than 100 online web links, resources, and things to find more tools. So we'll click on that and see if that works. Lessons, interactives. It doesn't cost anything here. It says to join. You don't have to be a member in order to use this. Here's one of their featured interactives. They have great games. They have brain teasers. They have puzzles, and you can incorporate them with mobile learning. They have a section about big ideas, bridges to learning. And it's really kind of caters towards the higher level students that are adults. So don't let this fool you as far as the cartoon characters here. It does have some very difficult games in there and some very neat content. So we can look at lessons. For example, for ABE, we would look maybe at 9 through 12. These are very visual lessons, counting embedded figures, building connections. I was just teaching just recently the quadratic formula and was looking for things like this that had the parabola. So it gives you a different visual view, and sometimes I just can't draw that well, so it's great to have this as a resource. Exploring linear data. It connects them to more real world things so they know what it's used for. So next we're going to go on to open lessons, open courses, and learning modules. These seem to be popping up in numbers these days. Khan Academy, of course. How could you forget Khan Academy? It was one of the leaders. As far as I'm considered, it's first place. All my students, when they enter my classroom, I immediately sign them up for Khan Academy. It gives them some it's supplemental resources for me. It gives them badges. It's easy to sign up and create your class. If no one has ever seen Khan Academy, what you would do is you would go in here and log in and register, and you could create an account very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and log in since we have the time. And I'll show you a little bit about Khan Academy. So as you can see here, here's my dashboard. This is an international thing. It has students from all over the world come in here. And it's not just for math, although I'm concentrating on math. We have science, economics, finance, arts and humanities. It's very collaborative. You can learn how to code in here. One thing that surprises me is they don't have the test prep for the actual HiSET or the GED test, but if you wanted to go into the test prep area, the CAHSEE is California's high school equivalency, and that's pretty close to the GED. It works on mastery. So what it does is a student takes a little pre-test ahead of time, and then it gives them lessons according to what they need. That was indicated on their pretest. So they never give them anything that they already know. It usually takes a consecutive amount of answers correct in order to move on, but it's very nice because they really get excited about the badges they get. So here's one of my classes. I teach in upper level math, and these are some of my students in upper level math. But I want to show you just a little about managing. It's easy to manage, add students. You can see student progress very easily and very visually. Skill progress. So the red, as you can see, would be the areas that they were struggling. You can put anybody into the same mission as far as the math mission for algebra, and they don't feel like they're any lower than anybody else. The grid might not work today because I'm not in class. Oh, there it is. This goes on and on for pages, but it's a very good way to look at things quickly. It's a good snapshot. During real time, and I like to do this when I'm in the computer lab and they're working on Khan Academy, you'll see these spikes going up and down every time somebody completes a mission or gets 5 consecutive answers in a row. And so what happens is they get these total class energy points. So when there's a spike, everybody gets excited and we wonder, okay, somebody just finished something, and figure out who finished something. So it's very neat. You can also add projects to this, so it's not only the Khan curriculum. And if you don't know what to do, what they have are missions, and that's what I did under the subjects. They have missions in algebra, through geometry, through algebra 2. So the students aren't necessarily like stuck in your mission alone. They can explore themselves. So going back to my tech talk, let's go to the next slide. Now, I had too many to actually list here when it came to some of these programs that have come online that are whole courses. So on the right-hand side, I have the different ones that I have visited and I know about. EdReady, Hippocampus. Both of them are huge. In fact, we'll go into them when I link into them a little further. And of course, you've mentioned Khan Academy. Bob's Math is my newest and favorite when it comes to finding algebra resources. Learn Zillion has tons of algebra resources. Also, you do need to sign up for this one, where you don't need to sign up for the Bob's Math. And of course, we have the MIT OpenCourseWare underneath highlights for high school, and they have some wonderful things in there. I can't say enough about OER Commons. What I like to do here is maybe start with some EdReady, and if we have time, we'll link into some of these other ones. So EdReady is sponsored through the same program that sponsors the Hippocampus, and that's NROC. The one thing that I don't like about the EdReady is, in order to get started, you have to take this huge pretest. So I haven't found a way to come in as a teacher so that I don't have to take the huge pretest. Although I like to see it, I wish there was a way to skip it. So in order to get started, you really have to click Get Started, and you have to go through the whole thing. We can go ahead and explore it, but what's nice about this is it's specific to college-bound students and to ABE. Not only does it help them with lesson plans and videos and things, but it also has some career exploration, even as far as what college you went to. So they have a little section where you can go through and explore the kind of college for the career that you want to go into. Tells you if you're already in college, tells you the best colleges for the programs. So it gives you a little exploration kind of thing. So you have a goal beyond GED. It kind of embeds that into it. So it's specific to adult learners, which is nice. It just covers really the content needed for the GED. So if we were to click Get Started, this is where you would sign up. It's free to sign up. It has a great dashboard and a great collection and a place to save everything. So you can even make your own playlist through this. Hippocampus is kind of similar to this, but you really don't need to go through all the sign up in order to get the material right away. So I've used this in my class. It has wonderful videos with a really funny guy that I used to see on the YouTube. He's underneath a tutor. But for example, if we were to look in algebra and geometry, I'm constantly looking for things in algebra that are not too heavy. So they have a whole open course in here. Underneath that course, you can see all the topics that you can select from. Absolute value. So it's very specific. If your students are struggling, for example, with exponents or absolute value, you can just scroll down here and you can get a multitude of resources, not just in video, but worksheets, books. If you look here and you look down, we have worked examples, test prep. I love the simulations. And they also include some games in here. So let's look at one of these while we're looking so you can get an idea. Rules of exponents. So it'll load a video up, and not just that, but you can scroll down and get advice and lesson plans from other teachers. If you look to the right of here, it not just you can have access to the whole open textbook and all the chapters and all the worksheets and all the pre-tests and post-tests from each of these chapters. So it's very nice. It has the calculator in here. Lots of my students come in and they don't know how to use the calculator. We can look up topics and they have all lesson plans already laid out for you there. So if we scroll down, and not only, it just stays within the content of developmental math and GED. Okay, so one of my favorites that I've just found is Bob's Math. Now, I don't know who Bob is, but he's doing a great job with his math here. This is basically high school level, pre-algebra, algebra. When I've rushed for time, I like to go and look into his lessons. They're organized according to any kind of developmental math, basic math, algebra, college algebra. They also have syllabus with these. So they're very specific when it comes to teaching something. Like you can look up, for example, quadratic equations and the square root property. If I needed to help in exponents or rules, I could click on the area algebra handouts, and I could look under there and find something for exponents. They have fractions, additions. So it goes from whole numbers, from basic math and fundamental math, all the way to your algebra, which is nice. Accompanying some of these are videos. It doesn't show Bob, but it shows kind of like a Khan Academy kind of thing where he goes through the simple steps of, for example, multiplying polynomials. This is great because you have worksheets you can print out right away. There's a number of them. So let me go back. So when I'm looking for extra practice for my students, I like to come in here and copy the worksheets. So there's no need to sign up or anything. It's got a wealth of information. It links it to each of these chapters. And so I really like Bob's Math a lot. Home. You can see the different resources from the home, the videos, the syllabus, and it's very logical as far as the math content and how it builds. Back to the PowerPoint. Since we have a little time and we don't seem to have any attendees today, I'd like to show you a little MIT OpenCourseWare. When I happened to search this for GED, I was surprised that it did have some GED. I relate the high school to the same kind of things that GED is related to, but they have full courses in here if you'd like for students, or if you have a student that can't seem to make it to class, exam preparation in each subject there. We can search real easy by putting in GED. Even just GED prep. Okay, so make that shorter, GED. Actually, I should be using high school equivalency now since the GED word has been used. I resort to a lot of the high school material when I'm doing, sometimes the algebra is just too heavy for them, so I like to resort to some of the high school, and they like feeling like they're in finishing high school themselves. So here's a guide for teachers learning how to navigate the site. They have great videos and partners here. And so it's worth a shot looking at. Okay, we're going to go to the next slide. And I skipped one, I'm sorry. So math videos. First thing that comes to my mind when I'm thinking of math videos is TED Ed lessons worth sharing. I wish there was somebody out there so that I could ask them these TED Ed lessons if they have gone onto this site. Here's a list of some of the ones that are related to math. I use this a lot. In fact, I've gone on there and registered. Registration is free. You can go on there and you can find yourself a video that you like or that relates to classes. And I'll show you what I mean. And you can create your own questions. These come with actual questions within them. And you can search through the videos. For example, create a lesson. It's great for math. I'm not logged in right now, but I have done, I have found a video about learning, and maybe if we have time, I'll show it to you. But math specifically, we have different NOVA documentaries, How to Trick Your Math Teacher. I recently viewed one with zombies in it. Lessons series we can go by. So I would go here and I would go to math. And I just want to briefly show you, I had found this one. I had an orientation class just recently, and they really enjoyed this one. So you can see here that it's open resource. It's a very short math video. It's very good to get students warmed up. If you wanted to use the questions that are already embedded in it, you can see we can go through these different questions after they watch the video. And you click on these little circles and it takes you through. If you're thinking of more critical thinking and you want to dig deeper, we would click dig deeper, and it gives you additional worksheets. So I'm getting a message. I noticed that there are 5 viewers, but they cannot see my info. So I'm going to go back to the Google Hangout. Let me turn off all these.
You actually don't have to do that, Terry. I apologize. It was just letting you know, just because you had made the mention that you had no attendees. There are 5 people that are actually watching it right now.
Oh, that's great. That makes me feel much, much better.
So you are not alone. You do have viewers.
Excellent. So I feel like I'm not talking to myself, or I feel like I'm not talking to my son. He seems to ignore me. So thank you for letting me know that.
No problem.
So back to the, you're still seeing my TED Ed here?
Yes.
TED Ed lessons worth sharing?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm showing you one that's out there already that doesn't take anything to use. You don't have to sign up for this in order to use this lesson or to see these questions. Dig Deeper is for more meaningful content, and discussion is here. So they throw out a prompt. Why is it important? I don't want to show you the question because you haven't seen the video. So you can take it as it is, or you can sign in and you can modify the questions, modify the discussion. So I'm going to go back to the video to give you an example. Can everybody hear that, Jamie? Let me stop for a second.
The
Everybody,
volume
is it too loud? Because my volume is very loud.
No, it wasn't too loud.
Okay, so this is a really short one. It's really funny because everybody's about zombies.
And 9 other individuals have been captured by super intelligent alien overlords. The aliens think humans look quite tasty, but their civilization forbids eating highly logical and cooperative beings. Unfortunately, they're not sure whether you qualify, so they decide to give you all a test. Through its universal translator, the alien guarding you tells you the following. You will be placed in a single file line facing forward in size order, so that each of you can see everyone lined up ahead of you. You will not be able to look behind you or step out of line. Each of you will have either a black or a white hat on your head, assigned randomly, and I won't tell you how many of each color there are. When I say to begin, each of you must guess the color of your hat, starting with the person in the back and moving up the line. And don't even try saying words other than black or white, or signaling some other way, like intonation or volume. You'll all be eaten immediately. If at least 9 of you guess correctly, you'll all be spared.
You have 5 minutes to discuss and come up with a plan, and then I'll line you up, assign your hats, and we'll begin.
Can you think of a strategy guaranteed to save everyone?
So that's where I pause it too. But this was a very good warm up for somebody who's just coming into my math class. It puts them in groups. It makes them think about the subject, and there's a lot of content that's really involved with this. I did want to spend a little time and show you how you can modify these. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'm just going to spend a little time and show you how I did my TED Ed. Of course, this is great for flipped learning. You can have the students really discussing the important topics. So here I'm signed in and I can go and see my lessons. So you can compile your lessons. It's all open resources and fair use. Okay, where is my lesson? It shows you what you viewed recently, shows you what you published. So this is my lesson. I don't know if any of you have seen the parody or seen or heard of the song, Someone That I Used to Know. And I'm not going to sing it because I'm not a very good singer, but this was one of the ones I decided to use in one of my classes. It's a good way to start people thinking about how they learn, especially when it comes to math, why they remember things and don't remember things. So as you can see, I kind of modified, they had a different question. I kind of modified the beginning question so they have something to think about. So the question is frustrating. Why do I need to learn this stuff? And it's not just frustrating for students, but also for educators who spend a lot of time on their students. So this video is a parody of that popular song. What I usually have them do is watch the video, and then I have questions that follow, and they're actually related to not just math, but to other things like psychology and things like that. So I'm just going to show you a little clip. I thought this was a fun thing that I played with.
Now and then I think of what I learned in high school. KP Bio and British literature. Aesthetically so metamorphic, I don't need to write an iambic. Darling it, I don't know shit about Millard Fillmore. Why did I have to learn this stuff? It has never come in handy, never used it for nothing. Why did we read the Scarlet Letter? Puritans are boring even when one is a slut. There's actually one thing I still know.
So this is a good one for students who are new and who aren't talking, and it's like pulling teeth to get them to talk. Excuse the language. I always pause that when that comes on, but it makes you think about, okay, why do I remember something? If you were to watch the video a little further, it gets even funnier when the teacher comes in and she's given the other side of her story. And she's very upset that he didn't remember these things, and why did she waste her time? So it makes you think. Some of the questions that followed were, one had to do with a math problem, of course. In high school, students are in a class for approximately 1,000 hours per year. How many years of school have you attended? And approximately how many hours have you been a student in the classroom? So it incorporates that math into something that's really funny and breaks the ice the first day. Neuroscience question. Think of one of the most memorable experience you had, and why is it relevant? What they are doing is really kind of self-assessing themselves and learning about their learning styles and using those strategies to learn, because sometimes we have a teacher that just doesn't fit with our learning style. So there's a couple other questions in here, but we have a lot to look at, so I'm going to go on. Very easy to set up, very easy to modify the questions. I would definitely recommend this to anybody who's doing a math, who's not getting any conversations out of their students. It's a good way to start. So this is different ones, and I can send you these different TED Ed lessons that are on the site already that have to do with math. I've used a couple of these. They're very entertaining. Okay, one of the very first lessons or videos I ever incorporated into my math content was from TV 411. So if you need something new, they have tons of multimedia teaching materials, streaming videos, interactive web lessons, HSE practice. So we'll see if my little link works for this. Tune into learning. You can sign in here. Also, it's kind of like the PBS thing where you can save your lessons. What's nice is it's not kid stuff. If you see this video here, buying for triplets, this lady is very popular in these videos. She works in a sort of Walmart kind of place. Her name is Laverne. She teaches people how to write a 5-paragraph essay in the break room when somebody is struggling to get their GED. So they're very funny. You can search by content. Here's ratio averages. So this was actually the guy I was talking about. That was the chef. He actually has his own TV show now on the Food Network. So it gives them a connection. It makes them see that somebody else has done this, so I can do this. I use that video a lot. When we talk about exponents, we have things the video pyramid schemes. It kind of explains exponents in a real world kind of view. If you have students that like sports, well, there's all kinds of math in sports. As you can see here, there's Jackie Joyner cursor, or I forget, they have one with Jackie Joyner cursor. Here's a famous Detroit Shock-based basketball player. I really enjoyed this one, videos, fractions and rhythms. I see students getting stuck in fractions a lot. And what this does is it shows, if somebody's interested in the music, how to connect that to the math content. I had a student once that swore he didn't know math, but he would always be like drumming his fingers in class. I related this video to him, and then he was able to understand how things are divided, because in measures they divide by quarter beats and things like that. So we have all kinds of things, and it's very easy to search this site. They also have using a calculator, as you can see on the right, basic math, how to read a bar graph, solving problems, estimating. So this is very updated to the GED site. So going back to the PowerPoint, are you looking for a list of videos? You can go to OTAN, Outreach and Technical Assistant Network. And here they have tons also of ABE and specific HSE math video lists beyond what I've showed, at least in this PowerPoint. They have the sites here that have, tons of videos, or they also link to the just individual ones. So you can see how long these resources are. They also have other things, not just for math, but for professional development and research, and for incorporating technology into any classroom. Watch, know, and learn. I became fascinated with this website. Let's see if it loads up. Because of all the content that's related to passing the GED or passing the HiSET. So you can look through here. This is all GED related that I'm showing you. Where can I print a pass? How do I pass the GED? And you can also just look in any of these math in the real world. Here, algebra content. You can look by content, language arts, math. I believe they have some foreign languages if you want to learn a foreign language. They have some ESL related material too. English as a second language is 168. So I have math students who are also ESL students. This is a great site, has funny videos, great explanations, all related to Common Core. So it'll answer almost any question to do with the GED. So I highly recommend this site too. One of the reasons I got hooked is because there's a man in here who was showing doing a video in a parking garage, and he was teaching math, and he was teaching about prime numbers, and he had this great story about relating it to sheep, and how the math developed. English is a second language. I'm sorry, my computer's a little bit slow when it loads. So this is the actual section from Watch, Know, Learn that has English as a second language resources, not just for math, but for reading. So this is a great site if you need ESL resources, especially with math. Okay. Under Watch, Know, and Learn, they also have, I didn't go into it, I'm not going to click on it, but they have vocational and career exploration and development. The YouTube educational channel. My thing nowadays is there's a YouTube for everything. In fact, I was trying to light my pilot in my heater yesterday, and there's a YouTube for everything. So I'm sure many of you can go into YouTube and just type in what you need and search. But do understand they have an educator channel and a teaching channel, and you can curate videos from that so you don't have to search forever. Math games. Math games are getting pretty huge. I've started using some of the math games, but since I'm not one of these really tech savvy people, I've probably lived half my life without a computer. I don't understand how to play a lot of video games, but each of these here, if you'd like me to send it to you, are linked to these different videos, websites that have math. So let's look at one of these. I recently played, I did a Jeopardy game. This is a great site, especially if you're teaching the upper level or algebra. They have flashcards that you can print out. They have concentration. They have matching. So you get a free 30-day trial. I've never had any problems with accessing the material. If I go home, you can see the different play activities, view. They also have surveys here. So let's go ahead. And maybe it's not letting me go in now, but so I'm going to go back, find other activities. So if you're looking for something specific for algebra, they usually have that here. I'm going to type in algebra. I needed a last day activity, and this was a great one. Algebra Battleship, algebra word games, pattern functions, basic concepts. So they have a video. It's like Jeopardy in here. So there's many things you can search, and I don't want to search for many things, but I wanted to give you the link for this. I'm going to check on that. I'm seeing that we've lost the feed, so let me go back to the Google. and try this again. I might have too many things open, so I'm going to shut them down. Do you
Just so
see?
you know, the broadcast is still live. It's not showing me that the broadcast has stopped. I do see your screen.
Okay, so is it okay now?
I'm not sure for everyone who's viewing it, but
Okay.
it should still be broadcasting. It's
Okay.
showing that it's recording.
If I get any questions on the chat or if they're not seeing anything, will you let me know?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe what we'll do, let me know if you'd like a copy of this PowerPoint. I can send it to you. And inside of all of these, it does include the links to these. So I'm going to try one more games. Absurd math.
We could also put the Google slides on the website as well.
Oh, right. I can share them on the website. So I have these. I actually created this in Google Slides, which is a great. I'm learning more and more about this. It's very good. Absurd Math is another one where you can find some pre-algebra games. Google Apps for the math classroom. I am trying to learn more every day about Google Apps, and I'm amazed at the things they have for math in there. When I started researching this, I wound up adding 20 different apps onto my Google account. So these were some of the interesting ones. We have GMath for forms. So are you looking for a way to add math and symbols and forms? Then look no further. This links to your Google Classroom. It's free to use, and you can go to this site actually to install it. So you can see all the different things that they have in it. You can look at overviews, reviews. So if we were to go down here, it's highly rated. This creates graphs, I'm sure you can read, and puts it in the sidebar. You can use commands or pre-built codes. If you look at the reviews, oh, this is the one that has the reviews. You can play this. I don't really play the video in case you don't hear it. So we're going to go back here. Google Hangouts. What can I do in Google Hangouts that's math related? There's tons of things you can do in Google Hangouts. You can have groups collaborate in smaller, large groups, and they can hang out and they can discuss subjects or content or do homework together. If you add the different apps that come with the Google Hangout, they can do whiteboards and sketches together and collaborate. They can have debates. They can actually find experts and talk to experts about math. If you want to hook it to the YouTube, you can have play channels and lists of playlists that you can have videos on, so they can all watch the same videos at the same time. So there's tons. So let me go. We've lost our feed, I think. So I'm going to go back and check on this. Are we seeing the PowerPoint?
I can still see your screen, but not now. I'm not seeing it now. Everyone, I apologize for the technical difficulties. We're trying to get Terry back on.
Okay, I'm back. I'm very sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
I
Is that
can, yes.
so did we lose everybody?
We still have 3 viewers. so-
Great. And did you get Barbara on?
No.
Barbara I think Barbara is trying to get on. I'm not sure how to do that, but
If she messages me, Barbara, if you well, she can't hear me. She's not on this. But Barbara, if you are viewing it, you can send me a message through Hangouts and I can add you. And I will send her an invite as well if you want to share your screen again.
yes, I can share my screen again. Okay, sometimes that happens. So are we seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. Do you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so we actually were talking about Google Apps in the classroom. And so I was talking about the Google Hangouts itself. Sometimes we have some things that happen, but there's always a way to get back to it. If you want your students to hang out, there's an easy way to set up so your students hang out. You can have them link to the YouTubes. You can have them create YouTubes that are recorded on Hangouts. So it's a very neat thing. I'm a little bit afraid to click on some of my links because I don't want to lose anybody. So we're going to start talking about alternatives to textbooks. Again, Google seems to win out sometimes when it comes to apps and resources for math. If none of you are familiar, if you're familiar about Google Classroom, we have these different tools that we can use called Google Books and Google Scholar. So Google Books, it works like a web search. In fact, it looks just like a Google search, but within Classroom, you can also use this in order to get citation. It'll link the different places that you traveled or searched in your search bar. So it's very neat. I want to go ahead and click this if it doesn't lose anybody. So if you need more information about Google Books, you can look right here. It's very easy to add to your apps. You can buy books, you can search for books. And it's very specific. You have safe search when you do it through Google Books. You can browse the different free books online. So you do have that option to be able to buy the book, browse for open books that are free, even borrow from the library. And it's a safe search for your students. So if you're interested, here's the link to go on to use that. It has some more information, user stories. Google Scholar. This will help you search like literature that is relevant. There's a little addition here for adding citations. I used to tutor, and one of the biggest questions was, how do I cite something? So it also shows you can add things. It'll add things easily, so they're already cited when you want to do your page of references. It will search articles. It will search updates. So it's a safer way to search. OER Commons, a search for HES math text. So this is just a link for when I search different high school equivalency math. So OER Commons have all different kinds of use here. We have search by subject area, education level. We can search by content source, media format, educational use or audience. So if you look under media, we have text or video. This is for fair use. It's open and out for use. Content source, conditions of use, whether it's something that you can share or something that's remixed. Material type. If you're looking for different open textbooks, you can look through here. Full courses, audio lectures. When I did search for GED, for example, I got something like this. And if we were to click on that, so this is an actual whole course within for pre-algebra. As you can see, very easy to download. These are things that are shared. You can become a part of the OER Commons and share something yourself. It's great for professional development, and everything is free and open. Connections. This seems to be the favorite and most popular. Even here at C&M, they're talking about doing an OpenStax kind of textbook. It saves money, it saves paper. So if anybody has not heard of OpenStax, we can click onto this. It has a collection of over thousands. There's 2 million users, they quote a day, and it's very easy to download these textbooks to your mobile phones. So we have, this is the OpenStax website. You don't have to sign in, although it's probably better to sign in. You can search by subject. You can search for content by just typing this in. And in fact, it'd probably be better because my computer's a little loaded, so I'm just going to algebra. So a lot of schools are using this as an alternative. In fact, there's one pilot program in California where they're getting away from the whole idea of having textbooks, which is very interesting. We can go home since it's not searching. My computer's very slow today. And you can see the different things here. I'm going to shut some of my tabs down again. So I was wondering if anybody would like to share. I'm going to go back to the stop sharing my screen. Any of this, in fact, if you would like to have this copy of this PowerPoint, then we'll have it shared for you. It's going to be much better on your computer at home when you link, and then at least you're not searching around. So I'm going to go back to Hangouts and stop sharing my screen. It's going a little wacky right now. And I'm going to open this up for any kind of questions, or let me know what kind of things you have found that are good for math resources or the sites that you use most frequently. I'm going to go ahead and put my chat on, and hopefully we'll have some people that I can meet out there that might have questions or have one of their own that's their favorite.
And please feel free to ask questions on Google Hangouts chat.
If you'd like, we can actually share your screen too and see if you want to go to your websites and you're involved and you're in a Google Hangout with me. We can, if you know how to share your screen, would like to show us your site, you can do that too.
I think we only have people who are viewing, so.
Okay, in that case, I found it very overwhelming as far as math sites. So what I'd like to do is, how many of you are new? I try to think of this on a novice point. If I'm going back here, I wanted to show you some of my favorites because I didn't get to click on all of these. And Jamie, you can let me know when we share screens if somebody has a question, and I'll flip back from sharing screens if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, can you see my Tech Talk PowerPoint?
I cannot see your screen right now.
You cannot? Okay.
Now I can.
Okay, great. So I'm actually going to go up to something. In fact, there were a lot of things I didn't click on. I don't have time to click on. So maybe we'll look at a cool math. This is one of the popular ones. Just don't let it fool you that it looks like a kid's one, because we have everything from algebra up to calculus in this. So very cool math games. My students like these a lot. Algebra. Exponents, they have the different content here. Popular topics. Graphing polynomials. Who would know that they could make a game out of that? So we're going to click on exponents. And we have remembering exponent rules, exercises. And actually, I want to show you some of the games. So I'm going to click back up here. Cool math games. I usually don't have a problem downloading these. Sometimes you have that little message that says the Java needs updating. But you can see the different new games that they have. And you can search by content. So I've found a couple favorite ones usually. Strategy skill play this. These are great for mobile learning.
When every day is a
Oops, I seem to have an ad. I seem to have gotten an ad in there. BBC. BBC has a great site too. If you look here, we have the different, they don't have as many math, but they have some interesting math games. Fractions, Dolphins racing game, conveyor belt. They do have some that go into algebra, and I will click next to show you them. Handling data, percentages and fractions side by side. So I'd like to click on one of these and show you. And I'm going to go to the next one. So taking measures. It actually,
Your screen seems to be frozen. I'm not
it's
sure.
frozen again. Okay, well, let me get off of this.
But Faith did suggest the website Teachers Pay Teachers.
Teachers pay. Oh, I am familiar with that. I remember looking at that one. Can you still see my website? And it was called Teachers Pay Teachers, right?
Yes. It's still showing the screen for BBC.
Oh, okay. I actually took that off, so that's kind of strange. It's showing that. Are you seeing my Tech Talk?
No.
Okay. It's a very slow thing, so I'm going to go ahead and share the different screen since it's not working for this one. Share. So I'm going to put my Google Hangout screen up. Can you see Teachers Pay Teachers?
Not yet.
Okay, we'll give it a second. Nothing yet?
Nothing.
Okay, I seem to be having problems with the sharing screen. I've
Now I'm
tried.
seeing I just saw a glimpse of your
That's,
Tech Talk,
oh, you did. So,
and it's off again.
okay, so I'm going to, for some reason, it might be on my computer, my end. So this one seemed to at least get me back into the, I'm going to put my PowerPoint screen back on. And you let me know if you can see that.
Yes, I can see your Tech Talk.
Okay, wonderful. Should we try this again? Teachers Pay Teachers. I'm going to click over to that. You see that?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, it seems to have a delay. So Faith was talking about this Teachers Pay Teachers. And I think the first time I had gone on this site was when I was trying to look for an iPad resource. I wanted to get an iPad, and I think I looked on this site. And so Teachers Pay Teachers. So we have the different tools for Common Core free downloads. Excuse me. So great. Everybody's always looking for some icons and creative clips. Let's look under math, and we can look, I noticed, by grade or subject, algebra. So lots of worksheet, it looks like, free. Excuse me. So thank you, Faith, for that website. If anybody has any other ones that they'd like to share. I see representing linear functions. I was just struggling with my students with that recently. Properties, and these are rated, and these are all free. This is wonderful. So we are going to include this onto the math resources. And I'm going to go back and see if anybody else has anything they'd like to share. Jamie?
There have been no other messages.
Okay, well, stay tuned. Please send me any suggestions you would have for a tech talk. This one is actually loaded if my computer was working correctly. Like I said, go ahead and contact my email. We'll be sharing this, and I'll put that back up in my last slide here. So Terry at New Mexico Delta, if you have any suggestions for the next topic for our tech talk, thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon, hopefully at the NMEA conference. And so we can stop sharing my screen if you like, Jamie.
Sure. And Faith sent 2 messages. The first was that she does use many resources from the site you were just on, lesson plans, PowerPoints, etc. And because it's Teachers Pay Teachers, you can also upload your favorite lesson plans either for free or to sell them.
That is great, because teaching is all about sharing lessons and ideas and things like that. So it's wonderful to have some new stuff out there and not have to search all over.
Yes.
So thank you, Faith.
And it is, just after 3 o'clock. So
Okay.
thank you very much, Terry.
And join us again. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, everybody. And this will be on the website shortly.